And I was muted. So ETM Hotep, peace. Today is now Monday. We're after the midnight hour. September 5th now, 2022. It is officially Labor Day. Labor Day weekend. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves on the weekend. Labor Day weekend for whatever it is that you do, spending time with your family, having your last outings, for the warm weather because, we're going to hit the fall season. I think officially, September 21st, first day of fall. The children are going back to school or have already started school up again, so we're in full swing. Hope everyone is healthy and feeling good and all of that good stuff. Hotep to intro, my usual thing. Today's the after hours late night, just chit chatting, and so I'm just gonna jump in. So what's going on? I see Donnie's in the chat. Shout out to Johnny. We got brother Asar, Uncle Maat, ETM Hotep to you. Um, so yeah, I'm just here wanting to engage whoever is hanging out, whoever's up, whoever's hanging out on without being prepped or prompt into anything. Just want to see what's on you all's mind. See what the topics are. What are the latest topics? What's been going on? What's been going on on the Facebook streets, on the YouTube streets. We got Facebook Boulevard and YouTube Parkway. Uh, what's been going on? What's been going on now? You know, from what I've observed, I see a lot of the same old have been going on. Um, but what's interesting to me about the YouTube streets is, well, people have been telling me, and then I've been trying to click around and view, skim through a few videos, and I see that it seems like more people are at least acknowledging the shenanigans that kind of go on in the so-called conscious community. Something that I've been speaking and been critical of for years, very vocally, very openly. I've been very consistent and vocal with my criticisms of the so-called conscious community and how it can do better. Because I don't just point out the problem, but I also offer solutions and make suggestions that may fall on deaf ears. But lately, it seems like more and more people are jumping in that lane to say something about it. So that's what I've seen lately, and that's just kind of interesting because when I do it, or when I have done it in the past, people have things to say. It's not the popular thing to say and whatnot, but those same people, some of those same people, are now saying the things that I've been saying for years, and that's just I find that interesting. Yes, 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 indeed. So, so Asar, what's going on? And Donnie, what's going on? Shout out to you. I see your comments. Same foolishness, but this time it feels like folks are fed up. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I get, and I haven't been watching full videos, so I can't really speak. I don't like to speak on anything that I'm not. Um, I haven't put my mind or my eyes on or anything, but in the clips and things that I have managed to see, that's the sentiment I'm getting too. I'm just seeing more people are saying something now about the shenanigans that kind of go on, you know, and that's cool. I find that interesting, and to me, I can say in myself it's better late than never because maybe, just maybe, things will start to change because, like I said, I've been critical of it for years, almost going on. What's this? 2022. Not quite 10 years in terms of me openly, vocally, being consistent, but almost 10 years. And I have receipts, all over Facebook. I've been doing posts and different videos on this channel, other channels that I make cameo appearances on and whatnot from the past till present. I've been very, very consistent, very, very consistent. That's one thing. Well, not one thing. One of many things people could say about me is that I'm very consistent. I'm very consistent. Like flip flop and wujao will not be used in the same sentence. Flip flop and all of that kind of stuff, or inconsistent and wujao will not be used in the same sentence. You gotta be out your freaking mind if you use those in the same sentence. But yeah, so what else been going on? Whoever is watching, appreciate you tuning in. This is open discussion. This your brother Wujao. You on the Sesh channel. Hope you're subscribed. And I'm just here to engage you guys, the chat. Now I normally post panel link, but what's crazy to me, and this is crazy too. I'm gonna mention this. When I do click on other people's videos and channels and things like that, and I scrub through the video, I will see people on the panel. Like it'll be a panel of 9 people. You know, the different rectangles that show up on on the screen. It'd be like 6 people, 9 people, 8 people, 7 people, and whatnot. And but then it'd be a lot of people talking over each other, arguing, and people got to be muted out or taken from the live part, put it into the back waiting room part and stuff like that. But here, when I post the channel link, like as soon as we start a live stream, I post the panel link and I pin it. That's what I normally do. I like the engagement with the chat. I will purposely engage the chat and ask people to come on the panel, but nobody comes on the panel. I'm not gonna say anybody, of course. I don't mean that in a strict sense, but 1 or 2 people will come on the panel, and then it'd be nice where nobody will come on the panel. So, for whatever reasons, and that's cool, because I can engage your chat. It's just when I share my screen or if I'm sharing something, then I usually ignore the chat, and that's what keeps me on topic, because that's another thing that I see a lot of people do. They'll pay too much attention to the chat while they're trying to make points and present something, and then it gets thrown off and the conversations goes every which way, and that's not cool for the viewing audience. So you gotta have some kind of structure, some rhyme or reason to what you're doing. So I do my best doing that. But anyway, so peace to everybody. So give me a peace sign in the chat so I can shout you out. I see Robert Rand is in the house. Brother Kofi Paisai TV is in the building. Yes, and be on the lookout for Kofi Paisai's upcoming publication. I'm sure you're going to start seeing some announcements soon if you haven't already done so. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout. Who else is publishing? I believe the brother Benjamin Naji has recently published a work. If he was here, he could type it up in the chat or something like that. I just don't know. I just remember the title of it off the top of my head. Be on the lookout for that. And be on the lookout. And look out for publications already out there. For example, this one right here. This is a publication by the standing co-host to this channel, Emikeraku Kinshaye Kinyi. It's entitled Simplified, Sesh, Medew, Netcher, Penmanship, a lesson on Egyptian hieroglyphic writing, book number 1, the Monoliterals. If you don't have this book, shame on you. Go get the book. It's on Amazon. Type in the title and it'll pop right up. Get it. It teaches you how to actually write the simplified form of the monoliteral hieroglyphs, what we call Sesh, Medew, Netcher. And for those who don't know, when you hear monoliterals or uniliterals, depending on who you talk to, some people say uniliterals and some people will say monoliterals. These are glyphs that represent single consonants. And because they represent single consonants, it could be said that these are the only glyphs that you would need to spell any Egyptian word. But that's not how they were used by the Egyptians themselves. But today, for an example, if we wanted to spell any English word, but using the hieroglyphic writing system to do so, like for example, let's pick a word. Okay, like Like Kofi just typed in yes, Black Panther. So if I wanted to type those three words, yes, Black Panther, I can actually use the monoliterals of the hieroglyphic writing system to spell those three words, the equivalents. Okay, so in essence, it's called a pseudo alphabet, but that's not how it functions with the Egyptians and how they use them. Okay, so just keep all of that good stuff in mind. But those glyphs, they're 24, 25, depending on who you talk to. Um, Glyphs, and so Emicat, what the Emicat has done is showing you step by step how to scribe them, how to draw them, how to write them. The strokes, stroke number one, stroke number two, you curve it this way. Stroke number three, you curve it that way. It's a very, very good book in the aesthetics. So what she's done essentially is taken chapter two of the beginner's textbook on the hieroglyph writing system or Sesh Netcher and have expounded on it, basically telling you that all of the glyphs in Egyptian inventory can be categorized based on their shape, and then she tells you how to draw the monoliths. So again, this is book number one. So if you don't have this book, go get it. Even if you're not don't have the time to actually sit down and put it to practice right now, get the book. Support. Okay, Emicat has put time into it. I'm not sure when I'm not sure, Emicat, if you're available to speak. When did you publish this? I know it was after 2015. It was 2016?
So the book was published in 2017, and that is volume one. There's three parts to it, so there's two more parts to look forward to.
All right, there you go. Yep. All right, so there you have it. But anyway, so what's on you all's mind? Like I said, I'm here just hanging out. It's a holiday weekend. I know a lot of people have been spending time with family. Some people may have had cookouts and or taking advantage of Labor Day weekend sales or something like that. Um, all of that good stuff. So, what's on your mind? I've been trying to keep up with a few things. I play it by ear though. People will ask me questions or send me questions with screenshots or questions with pictures or ask my opinion about different things, and I can tell that people will ask me opinions about things that are going on, on in the YouTube Parkway or Facebook Boulevard, the Facebook streets or YouTube streets, so I could tell the kind of topics that are being talked about. So, like the main topic or the main topics that I've been seeing now, obviously the debate between Garfield and the brother Jabari. I'm not sure if it's been officially canceled or not, but I did hear something about it, so I tried to click on a couple of videos to get that answer, to be able to answer that for myself. And I'm not quite sure if it's officially canceled or it is canceled but may uncancel itself or whatever the case is. It was like a conditional cancel. You know, Jabari. Now this is just my take. Now I don't know any details, so I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. I don't know any details. I haven't been a part of any conversations, and in fact, I have refrained from even commenting about the topic to a very large extent. I haven't been chiming in on the discussion. Whether Christianity was stolen from Egypt. The only far only comment that I've made about that is about the debate itself. I don't think that debate, but this is me. I've been saying this about pretty much all the debates, but I don't think that debate it has been framed up to where people can get the most out of it. I think the title is not very well. The word stolen, instead of it being two people pointing out the similarities, parallels, correspondence, correlations between some things in Egypt and things in Christianity and trying to link it together, but it's framed up as if there's some kind of smoking gun where you're going to see, and I said this last time, where you're going to see some guy with Jesus tattooed on his back with an ink jar and pen, copying glyphs from the temples and stealing it and then taking it back to Christian Rome or whatever the case is and stealing it, when that's not going to be the case. The only thing that you can show and talk about are things that look similar, the ideas, the conceptualizations, and some influence, you know, and all of that good stuff. Which pretty much there's a lot of literature out there already. So to me, it would have been better to consolidate the scholarship on all of that and then present it. You know what I'm saying? Present it. Have a discussion. Jabari and Garfield have a very good discussion on pointing out the all of that, consolidating all that scholarship, and then raising the question of, mount all the evidence of the influence, mount all of the influence, consolidate all the stuff into a presentable way, so people don't have to spend a whole year trying to do literature review from all the scholarship. Just consolidate all that good stuff, give presentations on it, and then just show that good stuff. So anyway, that's really the extent of I've been commenting on it, but not any of the details and stuff. I know people have been arguing about Mary and Jesus, whether she's been a virgin. I haven't really heard the Immaculate Conception come up. Have y'all heard that? The Immaculate Conception? I'm not sure. I haven't heard that come up too much. I heard, whether Mary, well, because Mary is a virgin, whether Isis or Osset is a virgin or not, and then Jesus will be equivalent to Horus and Osiris. I'm not quite sure if they equating that to Jesus or not. But anyway, let me ask you something on that topic. Who here knows now? Who knows the difference between the virgin birth and the Immaculate Conception? Or have any of you all ever given that any thought? Though, like in your mind, are those two separate doctrines, or is it the same thing, or you just never really thought about it? The virgin birth versus the Immaculate Conception. So let me know that. Peace to the brother Zane. Zane said, due to religion, other animals have an intellectual advantage. Other animals have an intellectual advantage. Got brother Desharab in the house. Peace. So yeah, you all talk to me. I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. But answer that question for me. Have any of y'all given any thought to the virgin birth versus the Immaculate Conception? Or in your mind, are those just the same? Like it's just blur? Or do you see it as two separate doctrines? Okay, see, Kofi says he never thought of it as separate. Yeah, give it some thought, because that's just interesting. And see, it's things like that because, let me give my 2 cents on that. The virgin birth. Now, here's the thing. What is the purpose of the Immaculate Conception? Which immaculate is clean, right? Deshareb said they're separate. So Deshareb, if you don't mind, in one comment, what's the difference? Virgin birth, Immaculate Conception. Or you can elaborate as I'm talking. So the Immaculate Conception is by definition, represents a clean birth. Now the Immaculate Conception, now this is to my understanding. So now mind you, I haven't studied this in years. So y'all keep me honest. I could be wrong about this. But on my memory, the Immaculate Conception was the doctrine that was advocated to kind of clear up the original sin part on the part of Mary. And y'all can correct me on that or look into it. So remember, according to Christians, everybody is born in sin. You know, and this is crazy because they're saying the act of sexual intercourse is in itself part of the continuation of original sin. You know, everybody is born in sin, and you have to be baptized, and this, that, and the third. And so the Immaculate Conception was thought up and created to remove Mary from that idea, to make her special. So that's my memory. That's my recollection of it. Whereas the virgin birth, now here's the difference. The e-virgin, the I say e-virgin. We got e-books and e-virgins. But the virgin birth is different. The virgin birth, the purpose of virgin birth in Christianity is to make it so that Jesus didn't have an earthly father. That's really it in a nutshell. So the virgin birth was to create a savior that doesn't have an earthly father, and then Immaculate Conception was to remove that original sin inheritance on the part of Mary. So at the end of the day, the results is that Jesus did not have a earthly father, and he was not born in sin. And there you have it. Now I don't know if anybody has thought about that in that way, but that's Christianity simplified right there. Christianity 101. See, I just gave y'all a Cliff Notes crash course on Christianity. You're done. Now you can get your diploma. You can move on. Now we can move on to Islam. What's the nitty gritty of Islam? Okay, bam, bam, bam. And then we go on to something else. We could ride through all of these belief systems real quick in one night. Take a crash course on all of these belief systems in one night. No, but seriously, that's my understanding of the whole Jesus thing. So now listen, okay, I appreciate that. Forex and Deshrab says that I was correct. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. If that is correct, right? Then then within the context of any debating about Christianity stealing from Egypt, then if you want to plug in Osset for Mary and Heru for Jesus, then you look at it, okay, as far as directional, it's supposed to come from Egypt towards Christianity, not the other way around, right? So it's like, okay, well, therefore Isis has to be a virgin. So any debate on that, you would have to find and force that the conversation to be around Isis being a virgin or Osset being a virgin, meaning that and remember, so the purpose of it for Christianity was so that Jesus didn't have an earthly father. Okay, remember, keep that in mind. You can't move that. Leave that stuck right there, right? So the question is, Heru, in order for it to make sense, Osset to be a virgin, then the purposes would have to coincide. So was it important for Heru not to have an earthly father? Was that important? And if you read or I'm not even going to say if you read the stories, because not too many people do, but if you hear what people say about it, they say that Usir impregnated Osset. She did a couple of things, and then he impregnated her and whatnot. So see, all of those things had to be explained, and this is where the teaching moments can happen. If a discussion like that's going to happen, then that's where people can benefit to really start to explain these things from a Christian perspective. So imagine this. This is how it would be better. And if any of those guys or anybody listening to what I'm saying, I guess this can go down on the record as my suggestion. Garfield can represent the Christian information. The brother Jabari can represent the Egyptian information. Garfield brings up and demonstrates, supports the Christian side of things. Not that he is a Christian or that he even believes in it. Because you don't have to believe in something to study it and to understand it, right? So I'm not saying that Garfield needs to be a Christian or any of that good stuff. But let's say Garfield represents the Christian information and he has all of that on lock. Brother Jabari can represent the Egyptian information side of things and have that on lock. And then the two brothers, Jabari and Garfield, what they can do is bring up each point and then find the similarities and just expound on them. So if Garfield lays out the original sin, lays out the Immaculate Conception, lays out the virgin birth, why it's there, why it's part of the doctrine, just another, then Jabari will be responsible for doing the same. Because if there's influence, then the sameness in the purpose should be there as well. And they can do that. So, and that to me would be more beneficial. People could learn that way. People could learn that way. Now that would just be my suggestion if it had to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to explain. So you have to explain, how is it that Usair can be killed by his brother, Set or Satuk, cut up into pieces, like dismembered, like everything, castrated, and chopped up his whole body into pieces, and then threw them everywhere. And depending on which version of the story you read, be chopped up into 42 pieces, chopped in whatever, and this is where you get the 42 different gnomes and all this other kind of stuff. But his reproductive organ, the phallus, was never found. Why? Because it was swallowed by fish. So how is it that Osset can become pregnant with anybody, with a dead person, number one, and on top of the person being dead, having a missing phallus? That needs to be explained and expounded on. Okay, because obviously the Egyptians expounded on it. Obviously, was the phallus fabricated? Did she create it? Osset is known as the great one of magic. She of magic, the great one of magic. She received these magical formulae from Ra. If you all are familiar with the story of her poisoning Ra and forcing him to give her his hidden name, which when invoked gives her those equal powers to create and heal and so on and so forth. So did she work some magic to create a artificial or pseudo phallus and impregnate herself, all this and that and stuff like that? And then how can a dead body, because people who are dead have no blood circulation. Now we know an erection, at least we're being literal at this point. In order to have an erection, you have to have blood pumping. And if you're dead, you're not going to have any blood pumping. There's no blood that's circulating in your body. So, all of that stuff can be explained, because then you have to explain, all right, number one, because I have heard people say, okay, well, the various different Netcher, they're not real people, so it's just a story and stuff like that. And I'm like, is that really relevant though? I mean, it's good to say that and know, to make sure people on the same page. Like, okay, don't think these were actual sentient flesh and blood human beings. It's a myth. It's a story, just like a comic book. Just like Superman, Spider-Man, the X-Men, they're not real, or they're not literal characters in our reality, but they have a storyline. They had Wolverine. Okay, Wolverine has claws, but then somebody could be like, Wolverine don't have no claws because he's not real. You see how crazy that would sound? Wolverine don't have any claws. He's not real. He don't have adamantium steel skeleton because he's not real. Well, okay, we know he's not real in terms of a literal sentient human being walking around the streets somewhere, but in the story, he has adamantium skeleton. Spider-Man has spidey senses and can stick to the walls and stuff like that. Superman, by way of the sun, the energy from the sun, he has super strength and blah blah blah. All of that good stuff according to myth. But anyway, so getting back to the mythos in Egypt, according to the mythos, you gotta explain these things. What was the purpose of all that good stuff? What was the purpose of that? So anyway, that's that's my suggestion. I think a lot more can come out of that conversation than how I saw it playing out. But it's crazy. But that's usual. And I've been critical of the so-called conscious community and the rap battle style circus fussing matches that's called debates. I've been critical of that for years, so everybody knows my stance on all that good stuff. So none of this stuff surprised me. Debates get planned, they get forced. Planned, people debate people instead of topics. People get paired up, then the topic is chosen afterwards, and that's like totally backwards. That goes totally counter to everything that I have been taught about debating. I learned debating, trained debater in college, in high school, University of Maryland. I went to University of Maryland. Everybody know I'm from the DMV. Went to University of Maryland. Was on the debating team, and everything we learned about debate, about logic, and all that good stuff. What I see is almost 180 degrees the opposite, and so that's why I've been critical of that. So anyway, what's good? So who else we got in here? We got Ramza, ETM Hotep, Sumo, Peace. So yeah, I'm here to engage you all. I'm up here running my mouth, but I'm here to engage you all. What's on yours, mind? I only brought up the the debate things because that's just the latest that I saw. I'm not quite sure if it's canceled or not. That's the feeling I'm getting, that it's been canceled. I think that in the build up to all the debates. See, notice this, in the build ups to every debate, there's always things get edgy. It gets real out of hand. And I guess this time, on the side of Jabari, I think Jabari was like, nah, it's become unacceptable. So he's like, I'm not going to do it because he feels disrespected or whatever the case is. But that's nothing new because it happens. These things happen. Y'all know, like the weigh-in at the boxing, when certain boxers, they go in for the final weigh-in and then they had to stare off. They get on the scale, then they stare off, and then every now and then you'll see it go viral. Boxers will get in each other's face, and then outside the ring at the weigh-in, they'll start punching on each other or pushing, and then they gotta break it up and whatnot, all that kind of stuff. It's the same old thing. If you pattern this stuff after boxing, then the behavior in boxing stuff is going to transfer right on over, and that's what happens. Roman gladiator stuff. All right, so what else is going on? Zane said rigor mortis won't get you erect either. Yeah, that's rigor mortis. How long does it take for rigor mortis to set in? I know there's a certain time frame after the cessation of the blood flow. Rigor mortis starts to set in. And I'm sure somebody could look that up. But yeah, so what else? What else is going on? What else is going on? Where what have you all been up to? What have y'all been studying? What have you been watching? Any questions? Anything that's you've been reading that you like confused about, or maybe other things people said, videos you watched. Don't have to be negative or bad or something. Just just engaging. But yeah, peace to everybody watching. Make sure you thumb up the video. Find something on this video you like. Thumb it up. We got 21 people watching. It should be 21 thumb ups right now. 21. Go thumb up the video. Now, while y'all go thumb up the video, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share something with y'all. So, all right, let's go back in time. We're gonna go through a little time machine. Let me take the comments off the screen for a second. We're gonna go through a time machine a bit, and I'm just gonna share with you all a couple of these videos. Let me see if I can pull them up. How fast can I pull them up? This is okay. Tell me if you all remember these videos. How can I pull this up? Yep, here we go. Pull it up. All right, I know y'all gonna remember this one. Y'all should remember this. Now listen, let me prep this for y'all. Now you all know that, and matter of fact, this crept up in recent conversations. But listen, we, the Sesh, Ma'ani, Medew, Netcher, we have been doing things for a long time. Now we're not as popular, and we don't get the exposure as other people do, but we have receipts and records and timestamps of things that we have done and we've been doing. So sometimes I see people do things, and like I'm gonna give you a for instance, because y'all know I try to shoot it straight. I clicked on a video, and Chief X happened to be on a panel, and I forget whose channel it was, right? And I hear Chief X say things that he pretends that he's the first or the only person to say certain things. And he does that a lot, and I used to tell him I haven't engaged with Chief X in a while, but when I was engaging with Chief X, I used to tell him to stop saying that, because he's not the first and he's not the only one to say certain things, and he needs to be more specific with the things he's saying. So he said, yeah, nobody in conscious committee was saying this until I started saying it, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Chief X, stop, sit down. No, that's not the case. But anyway, on this whole hieroglyphic been deciphered or not type of thing, right? See, this is how you do scholarship. This is how you debate. This is how you address issues in a more scholarly way. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this video clip, and then I'll talk about it again. All right, so y'all watch this. Tell me if y'all remember this.
And the hieroglyphics, Netcher, has never, ever been deciphered. Hold up. Netcher has never, ever been deciphered. So don't let Europeans tell you, and their African-trained scholars tell you, that the hieroglyphics has been deciphered. because the hieroglyphics has never been deciphered. Okay? And in my book, The Historical Origin of Christianity, which is this book here, anyone that wants to repudiate that should read this and explain to you step by step why the hieroglyphics has never been deciphered.
All right, so do y'all remember that? So listen, so that is how you address issues in a more scholarly way. So what we did, if you all remember, now some of y'all may be new to the scene and new even to this channel or whatever the case is. Like I said, we've been doing this for a long time, and once upon a time, there was a build up to a debate between Sarah Sutton Seti and Young Pharaoh, who teamed up on the side of Walter Williams by saying that the Egyptian hieroglyphic writing system was never deciphered, as y'all heard Walter Williams say in the video. Then us being aspiring scribes of divine words, Seshu Ma'ani Medew Netcher, which is what our name means, loyal scribes or aspiring scribes of divine words, we said, wait a minute, that's wrong. So we took it upon ourselves not to argue back and forth, not to do the immature thing, drama thing, whatever. We took Walter Williams' challenge. He challenged people. He held up his book and he said, anybody who tell me, basically said, he held up his book and said, listen, it hasn't been deciphered. Refute what I'm saying in his book. And that's exactly what we did. We got his book. We went to the part of his book where he spoke about that. Now, the whole book is not about that. He has two books. The African Origins of Christianity. I believe he has one called The African Origins of Islam. I believe somebody can keep me honest on that. But in the back of the Christianity book, he has a whole section on his claim. So what we did was we took that whole section, reproduced it, so he couldn't say we're misquoting him or anything like that, and we addressed every point that he said. We left no stone unturned. Pun intended. And I say pun intended because he claimed that the Canopus stone or decree was a fake. It was never found. And so in our book, we put the picture of the daggone stone. We put the actual picture, the museum catalog number, the picture of it, and the whole nine, which was obvious, it was blatant that he, I don't know how or why, but he didn't do his homework on that. So anyway, point for point, we addressed everything he said in that book. And we did our book in two parts. We educated people on the decipherment process. We defined it, what it is and what it entails. And then in part two of the book, the second half of the book, we go point for point and refute every single claim that Walter Williams made. And it hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you say that. It's very key actually that the book was done in two parts, and that's what you would actually have to do even in a debate scenario. And I've had you, Jao, say that for the most part, especially even when the vaccine conversation came in, you were insisting upon people actually having to be educated about the immune system first before you can have a debate, because the point of the debate is actually to make people understand something. And obviously whoever wants to win also wants to be able to not just win because of how your delivery is, but to actually be able to converse with the people that you're trying to convince, and you can actually get feedback that they understand. So you need to, before you do anything, basically educate the people on the topic of discussion, and then and then getting onto the debate. And that's literally how we did the book, where it's like the first part you actually have to educate people on decipherment, on scripts, because obviously you're deciphering a writing system, and then after that go point for point on the rebuttal and everything like that. And even so, in this kind of new discussion that's going on, what you would like to see is people actually being educated on what the discussion, what the literature reviews, what people have, what books have been written, the discussions around the Christianity and things in Kemet, and then have that debate instead of actually just going back and forth and arguing and then canceling everything off.
All right, exactly. So just so everyone here knows, we did that book in 2016. So that's been settled. Nobody's refuting that book. Our book is a refutation of Walter Williams' claim and anybody in that school of thought. And see, this is the thing. This is how I operate and why I encourage people around me to operate. Don't get bogged down into the back and forth drama, silly, goofy stuff. Go to the source of the claims and find out where they're getting the claims from, and then deal with the source. So that's why I tell people, I don't debate people or fuss, because none of these debates are real debates. I just tell people to bring me your teachers. Bring me your teachers. So when it came to Sarah Seti and Young Pharaoh, they didn't even know the difference between transcription, translation, and decipherment. They didn't even know. They were still asking silly questions of how do you put sounds to a picture? Like, that's a real silly question. And I don't mind educating or putting people on to information at all, but those guys refuse to learn. So I'm like, all right, bring me your teacher. So all of their claims came from Walter Williams. So instead of dealing with them, we just go straight to the horse's mouth. We go straight to Walter Williams and deal with him. And that's how I feel about everything people say. Just bring me your teachers. Just bring me where you getting it from. Because 9 times out of 10, you don't do the proper investigatory research or apply rigor in your studies to find out where and how and why the conclusions were made in the first place. And some, I'm not trying to fault people at that either, because some people just don't have time to do all of that. And I get it. I understand that. But it saves time. I say, just bring me your teachers. Bring the teachers to me. So anyway, we dealt with that. That was Walter Williams. And to this very day, now what we did when we published the book, I made sure that Walter Williams got a copy. Somebody that's in close contact with him, I sent them a copy of the book so that they can get it in his hands, free. Of course, we're not going to charge him anything or nothing like that. So we sent him a copy, and later on, I found out that he definitely got it and he read it, because there's a video floating around somewhere where he makes a comment, and I actually have that video. I don't have it queued up to play, but where he talks about the book. And he didn't refute anything in it. He didn't even attempt to refute anything in it. Matter of fact, he kind of gave a, what do you call it? A shout out. But I could tell he doesn't agree with it, obviously. But that's and that's his right. Because really, it doesn't matter how you feel or this and that. It's about the demonstration. Because if you disagree with something, then show me, show it. Show it. That's it. That's all. We just follow the evidence. Give me the evidence and not the feelings. Everybody has feelings. I understand. I get it. I don't want to juggle feelings. I'd rather juggle evidence. So that's the stance on that. So how many of y'all remember that? Who watching now? Remember, I see we had 27 people watching. We should have 27 thumb ups. We should have 27 thumb ups. Okay, we don't. The people watching not matching the thumbs. Find something on the video you like. You can dislike me, but you may like that one glyph that you see on the screen, or you might like Emiket's picture, or you may like the way that I did the W in my name or something. Find something you like and then click that thumb up. you know, click the thumb up. But do y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember that? I'm trying to, I'm trying to get some vibes back from those of you watching. Do y'all remember? First of all, do you have the book? Okay, listen. Type 1 and watch, this gonna be shameful too. Press 1, type 1 if you have the rebuttal book. Let me put the chat back on the screen. I'm gonna put everybody on blast. Type 1 if you have the rebuttal book. Well, I should have said the opposite. Type 1 if you don't have it, really. Because see, what's going to happen if I say type 1 if you have it, and then I don't see anyone's, then it's like none of y'all have it. But see, then I don't see anything. And I know there's a lag, so I'm saying press 1 if you have it. I'm gonna stick to that one. Press 1, type 1 if you have the book. And it's shameful, I'm not seeing any ones. Okay, press 2 if you don't. Press 1 if you have it, 2 if you don't. There you go. Thanks, Zane. Press 1 if you have it, 2 if you don't. 1 if you have it, 2 if you don't. And I'm talking about the rebuttal book. 1 if you have it, 2 if you don't. Judy and Emiket, they have it. I have it. Zane don't have it. Marlon don't have it. Now, I'm not doing this to shame anybody. I honestly want to see who has it, at least so I can just gauge conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things that I talk about, I do a lot of repeating. And and I want to get people used to reading. I want to get people used to the flow of information being recorded so we can advance the conversations. Because see, how the hieroglyphic writing system works, we put that in the rebuttal book. It's in the beginner's textbook and the rebuttal book. And so it would be best. And look, the book is only $19.95. Let me just put the price out there. The book is only $19.95. That's $20. We call it a dub. It's only a dub. It's only $20. It's the price of a t-shirt. Less than a t-shirt. That's less than a t-shirt. So if you don't have it, get it. Get it. Now this may sound like a shameless plug as well, but I mean, so be it, because you should have it. I mean, I can't put it any other way. I can't, I'm not going to be apologetic about it. Get the book though. Get it. It's on Amazon. Matter of fact, Emiket, if you could post a link to it in the chat. So hopefully Emiket will post the link for you all. But get it whenever you can, but get it. And then let's discuss it. Like, get it. Nobody's going to refute it. As a matter, you know what? This will probably be what I have to do. I have to probably put out a challenge and a dare. I dare any of y'all to come try to refute it. I dare y'all. I want all the smoke. See, that book wants all the smoke. We should have printed it on the back. We want all the smoke. We want the smoke, the fire, the gasoline, the match, the lighter. We want it all. I bet you if we put that on the book, everybody would have jumped on board. But that's what I have to do. That's what we have to do. Put a challenge out there. I dare you to try to refute the things in that book. I dare you. Put money on it. Put money on it. So anyway, y'all get the book though, and spread the word. Get the book. Get the book, cause All right, so get the book. All right, so that's that one. So let me share something else, y'all. I'm gonna share something else with y'all. Now listen, y'all. Those who may not be familiar with me, or you may be familiar with me. I've been teaching the hieroglyphic writing system and the grammar of the language for quite a while now. And I used to just say, I used to teach it, but I realized I've been teaching it over 10 years, so that's over a decade. So I can actually say that now. I've been teaching over a decade. I could say that now. But I've been teaching over a decade now publicly. I did a textbook in 2015, and I've been teaching online ever since the publication of the textbook. But in person, combined with face-to-face teaching and all of that stuff, up until now, I've been teaching over 10 years, right? Now, naturally, I have children. I have 3 daughters. And naturally, if I'm going to be focused on something, learning something, dealing with something, teaching it, then obviously I'm going to teach my children. And so I taught my daughters um, along with their schoolwork, like as a extracurricular thing. I taught them a beginner's level of the writing system and everything like that. So my oldest daughter, I think when she was 8, I had been teaching her, and when she was 8, we did a video where she's sitting in a chair and she's counting the numbers. She's doing the numbers 1 through 10, because she was seeing me go live and stuff. She said, she wanted to do it. So I was like, all right, I turned the camera on her and she started doing it. She started showing off. Wasanu, Comp, Fidu, Diu, Sisu. She started running off with the numbers. So I said, all right, well, let me record you. So I recorded it, and I posted the video, and the video kind of went viral. People didn't even know it was my daughter. You know what's funny too? This is what's crazy, is that people who argue with me or against me and may dislike something for whatever reason would praise the video and even use the video, not knowing that that's my daughter, but then try to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, but yet they're using my daughter to promote something. Isn't that crazy? And the same thing with graphics, right? I've done a lot of graphics that y'all see on Facebook, but my name is not on it. But I've done a lot of graphics, and if I would sit here and show y'all the graphics that I've done, that I've seen where my name is not on it, and I don't put my name because I do it for other people. But it's crazy because I see people who have a beef with me use my work, but they don't know it's my work. And I just sit back and be like, man, it's like this community is so funny. It's funny to me. But anyway, I'm gonna share this video with y'all. This is my daughter. All right. So what y'all about to see, and take the chat off. What you all about to see is my daughter. Now you're gonna see 2 things. She's gonna, I forgot how old she is on the first part of this video, but it's a quick video. She's gonna recite the numbers, but she's older in that part of the video. It's not recent. My oldest daughter is 19 now. Okay, she's gonna be 19 in coming up. She's 18. She'll be 19. So this video is a while back, but then you're gonna see the very first video we did too. Okay, so you're gonna see that the age difference right there. But anyway, I'm just gonna play it, and y'all gonna see it. So y'all check this out.
Okay. ETM Hotep, everyone. Welcome to our Freestyle Fridays. Before we begin, I would like to pass the microphone to Sonette Tonica to recite the offering formula.
Yes, so I'm gonna go do and I'll go ahead and recite the offering formula. And what we have here, as we always say, the top part is written in Sesh Netcher, and then the middle part that is the transliteration, and the bottom part is the translation. And the offering formula, in this case, we're going to recite it in the name of the ancestors. But if you're watching, you can recite along and put the name of anybody that you know that has passed along. So I'll go ahead and read it. Hotep Dinesu, Wasir Nepjidu, Netcher A Neb Abju, DF Beret Heru, T Henket, Ka Aped Shes Menchet, Het Nebet Neferet Webet Anket, Netcher Im, In Ka Ni Imaku, Aku Ma Heru. And the translation is an offering which the king gives Osiris, Lord of Jedu, great God, Lord of Abydos, so that he may give verbal offerings in bread, beer, ox, fowl, alabaster, linen, everything good and pure on which a God lives, for the car of the revered one, the ancestors, justified.
Dua, Tonika.
Nehemi.
Well, my name is Ayana, and 4 years ago, I made a video when I was 9, reciting the numbers in Netcher, and I just want to recite them again to inspire other people my age to learn Netcher. And numbers are Wa, Senu, Komp, Fedu, Diu, Sisu, Sufek, Kemnu, Paseju, and Medew. So yeah, those are numbers. And yeah, I'm just gonna pass the microphone to my Abu.
And you should kind of show it off a little.
Wa, Senu, Komp, Fedu, Kemnu, Paseju, Medew.
Hotep, everybody. In Middle Netcher, that means come in peace or satisfaction. Rennie Mamtek. My name is Mamtek, and I'm going to teach you the numbers 1 through 10 in Middle Netcher. Wasanu, Kompt, Fidu, Diu, Sisu, Safek, Kemnu, Paseju, Medew. Now I'm going to say that one more time to just slow it down a little bit. Wasanu, Kompt, Fidu, Diu, Sisu, Safek, Kemnu, Paseju, Medew. And I'm going to say it one more time to just show it off a little bit. Wasanu, Konfidu, Diu, Sisu, Safek, Kemnu, Paseju, Medew. Shalom Hotep, everybody. In Middle Netcher, that means come out in peace or bring out in peace and satisfaction. And Shalom Hotep, everybody.
Dua. All right, so y'all remember that? How many of y'all have seen that video? So she said she was 9 when she first did the first one, and she was 13 when she was there. So she said 4 years ago. So she was 13. So that's 9 and 13. So she's 18 now. So it's like 6 years ago from her last video. You know. So anyway, I just sharing that with you all in case you all never saw that before. But that's crazy though, because the very first video was used by people, which I perfectly didn't mind. I posted it and I wanted to spread or whatever the case is. So it wasn't like a thing that I mind at all for people to use her video. That's why I put it out there like that. But what was crazy to me, and still is to this very day, is that people will argue with me and say all kinds of things, misrepresenting me or lying or whatever the case is, but yet using my work, either graphics or like that video with my daughters, whatever the case is. So I just find that interesting. That's why, when y'all hear me be critical of the so-called conscious community and stuff and people's behavior, trust me, I have a lot of receipts, and I just sit back and to me it's just real unnecessary. It's things that are really unnecessary, that are very immature and stuff that just needs to just be done away with. And that's why I'm like, man, I speak and say the things I say because it's just unnecessary. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you all. And anything, MK, you had anything to say about that?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say that I think there's also a video where she does your daughter, she does also grammar, where she explains some bits of grammar with the nouns and plural, singular, and dual and all that, which I think is actually cool. It's on the Facebook group page for Sesh Netcher group page, official page, not group page.
Yep, that's true. So because as I said, and plus see that she reflects, because obviously if I'm teaching it to other people, then obviously I'm gonna teach it at home, and that was an extra thing that I was teaching my daughters. Now my my daughter that's in the middle, because that was my oldest daughter. My daughter is in the middle. I have a video of her actually on the whiteboard drawing the glyphs and things like that. So anyway, these are just some things just I'm sharing with y'all because I just feel like it. So but anyway, so that's that video. And maybe I would get her to, well, now let me just explain something. Now obviously she couldn't go full I couldn't go full blown with her and teach her as hard as I would for how I do my classes, because obviously she has her schoolwork and stuff like that, especially now entering into college and stuff like that. So but we're gonna round back, and she's gonna hopefully, if she has an interest in it, she can continue with all that good stuff. And the same with all of my daughters. But yeah, so I got 3 daughters, and I don't know. I don't know how many of you all have children. You may have sons and daughters, but yeah, I'm blessed to have 3 daughters. I don't have any sons, but I got 3. Blessed to have 3 daughters, and that's my oldest. So just so y'all know that. What else? So what's on your mind? Yeah, this is he said Throwback Sunday. Yeah, Throwback Sunday, basically. Throwback Sunday. What else? What else can I share? All right, so let me share something else. So since we're going down memory lane a bit, let me see what else I can share. What else can I share? What can I share? What can I share? All right. Do you all remember this? Let me share this. Oh, that's what I've said. Fedu is cognate with the English for. Wa senu comp fedu. He said it's, oh, okay. Fedu. That's what I've said that, by the way. Let me try to pull up another video. So listen. This was the Seshu Mani Meadow Netcher's intro video. Now, before, the brother Jehudi Ma'at and the brother Sean, they weren't a part of the original. When we originally formatted the Seshu Mani Meadow Netcher as a study group and stuff like that, the brother Jehudi and the brother Sean weren't included because they didn't take that first course when we decided to develop a study and continue the studies. And that's really the genesis of the Seshu Mani Meadow Netcher. But then as soon as they got up to speed, they wanted in, and so so they came on board. And so this was the intro when they came on board. Let's see if I can find it. I thought I just had it. Yeah, this is it right here. And I'm gonna try to round up everybody, right? We probably gonna do a show. All of us get on the panel and do a show. We're gonna have a show like back in the day. We're gonna kick things off again, because these internet streets, these YouTube streets get out of hand. I think it's time for the Seshu. As a matter of fact, this is why you're gonna see the symbolisms in this video. So pay attention. Pay attention to what happens, and I'm gonna say something after I play it. Let me see if it'll pull up. All right, so here we go. Just check it out. Yes, indeed. So that was our intro, and I think it's still on our channel as an intro. On this channel right here is an intro. Yes, indeed. So yes, y'all see it now. So the symbols I was talking about is y'all notice, I took the theme from the Batman Spotlight, but it's the Seshu, and so that's what I mean. You know, we're gonna get all the brothers and sisters together and panel everybody again and start doing some live streams because people are calling out the Seshu. People are if y'all are a Batman's fan, y'all if y'all are used to the Batman comic book or the movies or the TV show or whatever, when Commissioner Gordon needed the aid of Batman, he used to turn on the bat light, the spotlight, and then the bat would show up in the clouds or whatever. So that's what's happening. People are calling on the Seshu to clear the noise up in the so-called conscious community, the circus community. Because you got people making claims that's outlandish. People messing up the sesh, people messing up the text and stuff like that. They're like, "Yo, where's the Seshu at?" And so we're gonna have to go ahead and form Voltron again and reassemble and start doing some live streams. Start getting that Freestyle Friday up, showing people how to properly use dictionaries, showing people what dictionaries actually are, and stuff like that. Put all these things in perspective, showing people the text, the primary, showing people the difference between a primary, secondary, and tertiary resource. They looking at redrawings, talking about their primaries. Like, what? Where they do that at? I got the primary. Cite your source, and this and that. So it's crazy. So anyway, we're gonna get some things together, and Afro Ninja said it's. Let me put the chat back on here. Afro Ninja said it's called the insignia. Yeah, so the Seshu, we got an insignia, the bat spotlight. All we need is a Sesh mobile. You know how he had the Batmobile. We need a Sesh mobile, and now notice that. See, this is the thing. See, we see. Sure, everybody. Jehudi, I don't know if Jehudi. I don't know if Jehudi, you still got your T-shirt, or you probably washed it 50 times and it's faded. Or Sean, or anybody in the chat that has a Seshu T-shirt and whatnot. But yeah, all of us, we had the same T-shirt, same everything. Structure and uniformity. See, that's what it's about. So we're gonna get it back together. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Y'all be on the lookout for that. And see, and what I noticed too, is when we were getting busy doing the work, when we had Divine Words Wednesday every Wednesday, Freestyle Friday every Friday, y'all didn't hear all the shenanigans on the YouTube streets when it came to Egypt in a detailed way. See, because what we were doing was kind of keeping those things in check. Because people couldn't just come up and make up stuff because they know the Seshu was going to do a video right after. You got people who are doing papers on the Ankh symbol, talking about the ANKH is really the Ogdods and stuff like that, not understanding that that's a English rendition of it. It's only a triliter. It's only a 3 consonants in there, not 4. So that whole theory is just null and void. Things like that, or things people saying that Ma'at is this or that. We did videos about that. So when things come across our eyes, we dealt with it. But in terms of teaching moments, not to get into the drama and fuss and fight and argue back and forth. That's not the motivation. That's not our style. That's not my style, and I don't deal with that around me. So we're gonna get back into doing stuff like that. Because right now, it's a time for the Seshu. All right, so I don't know if MK, you got some words on that.
Yeah, see, I think it's funny that people only call this a shoe to fix something only once they get completely really really tired. But when they just want to prolong the noise, they really don't want to call on this issue because they know that once you call on this issue, it's a done deal. Like we sort things out and you're not going back to it in that sense. But when they want to prolong it, then yeah, they do what they do. So that's what I think like is kind of weird, But we definitely gonna get back to, just cleaning up the stuff. Because also one thing that I've noticed is even just taking a little break from all this, our style of actually going through the primaries, the whether it's a primary, it's a secondary source, it doesn't matter. We are known to actually go through, the text themselves and not just go through translations and then argue over translations. Because what I see other people do, which I think is a disservice to the viewers, because when you actually reading through stuff and all you're doing is either going through an English translation of something, you might show them primary or whatnot, but then you're not really going through it and actually giving your expertise on it, but you're just showing it to show, and then you jump onto an English translation, and that's it. And maybe sometimes you might just look up a word in a dictionary and then not even expound on things like we always do on this channel. And I think that's what's missing, and I think that's why some we get hit a lot, where people are like, would you like to go through this, or can you verify this? Because what we do on this channel is actually verify that, because what we are known for from the beginning is actually going through the primaries and not just doing translations, but just going through it and understanding, translations via a proper understanding of the grammar and all that stuff.
Yes, yes. So yeah, we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna get back to it. You know, and see, I'm gonna tell you all straight. It's a challenge because um, it's challenging because there has to be a strategic way to do all of this stuff. Because one, we don't want to get to the point where we're adding on to the shenanigans, to the drama, and to all the craziness, the circusy stuff. You know, for the reasons that I even described the so-called conscious community as a circus. So we don't want to get and become that, but at the same time, we want to teach. We want to be able to inform people. We want to be able to correct and show that it's about accuracy. It's about finding out the reality and the facts and things like that. So it's a challenge to be able to do that without getting into the shenanigans part. So it's a challenge. And see, and on top of that, it's not popular. It's not popular to do. Either you are about the shenanigans and get all involved in it and go nuts with that, or you go the extreme the other way. And if you go the extreme the other way, then you're not going to be reaching the targeted people. So, got to find that sweet spot. And so I'm just letting y'all know that. So it's not something that is just willy-nilly and easy. So this is why you don't see us get a lot of exposure. Because I guarantee, see, it's easy. I could jump on anybody's live, right? I could jump on anybody's live. Anybody goes live tomorrow, I could jump on. As soon as they pass out that link, I could jump on there and just start trouble. And I guarantee you it will get a lot of looks. I mean, a lot of views and stuff like that. I can make noise and attract people, whether they like what I'm saying or not. It'll be publicity and exposure and all that kind of stuff. I could do that. I can get it. That's the easy part. The hard thing to do is to actually teach and clear that stuff up while maintaining dignity and integrity at the same time. That's hard. And so that's the oh, Kevin said all his hoodies are, man, listen, Kevin, I meant to ask you that, man. I be seeing pictures, and first of all, I appreciate the consistent support, man. That's Kevin MC Chill, y'all, right there on the screen. Matter of fact, let me put his where is his comment? Yeah, put your comment on the screen. So, yeah, but anyway, Kevin, so listen, what laundry detergent, what wash cycle do you use to wash your stuff? Because every picture I've seen now, I've known that you've ordered hoodies, you supported a while ago, and you wear them. It's not like you support and just to support, like you don't even wear it. You support just to say you support and all that kind of stuff. You actually wear it. You actually show that you wear this stuff. And I'm like, man, every time I'm like, how many orders did he order? Another one? Like that looks crisp. I'm like, what is he doing? So I mean, do you fold it inside out? Do you hand wash it? Do you take it to the dry cleaners or something? Like what's your secret, man? You need to pass it on. What's your what's your secret, man? Do you iron it? Do you dry it? Do you hang dry it? Or do you go old school and put it on the line, a drying line in the backyard? Like what's the secret? Everybody want to know what's the secret. Inquiring minds want to know. Kevin MC Chill about to drop the secrets on how to keep t-shirts looking fresh, so fresh and so clean. Yes, yes indeed. So, oh, is it your birthday? Kevin, hold up. Let me check. Let me see if it's your birthday. You know how you verify if somebody if it's somebody's birthday. All you gotta do is go to Facebook, and it sure enough is Kevin MC Chill's birthday is today. Yes, indeed. All right, tell you what, Kevin, listen. Let me get my screen back over here. I done lost y'all. Kevin, do this for me. Inbox me the t-shirt next t-shirt if it's something that you were thinking about getting or whatever. Inbox me the next t-shirt you wanted, and that definitely be on me for your birthday, man. You've been supporting and all that kind of stuff anyway, and everything. It's your birthday. And that's what Kevin said. Alkaline water. he said he walk in it and wash it in alkaline water. Cajun water 9.5. Yeah, but happy birthday, Kevin, man. Hey, inbox me. Definitely. All right, so what else y'all got? What else y'all got? Like I said, it's late night Sundays. I like that. I like what Zane said. Sapio Sundays. Sankofa Sundays. There you go. Sankofa Sundays. Sankofa Sundays. Yeah, everybody go to hickapparel.com and get Kevin a t-shirt. Kevin, what's your size? Just tell everybody your size, and everybody will just pick you up something. Yep, there you go. See? Put your size in the chat. And there you go. But what else do I have to share? I think what else we got? What else we got going on here? I'm gonna share something else with y'all. Okay, so y'all saw that video. All right, let me take the chat off the screen for a second. I want to share something else. Let's see if I can get it pulled up. Okay, so now y'all saw the y'all saw the insignia of the Seshu with the bat light, the bat spotlight for Batman with Commissioner Gordon. He's summoning Batman and Batman come running and stuff like that. Well, that's the Seshu, right? But also, so now that's the Seshu. Now, for those who don't know, and for those who do know, myself, the brother Asar Imhotep, and the brother Sanjeti Ankh Ra. So you got Wujao Min Ib Irdi Ma'at, Asar Imhotep, and Sanjeti Ankh Ra. We came together and formed the African Scholastic Homeland Security Agency. Okay, let me repeat that. The African Homeland, I just butchered the name, didn't I? The African Scholastic Homeland Security Agency. The African Scholastic Homeland Security Agency, where we are the security agency for the African agency in all the things that, this school of thought and what we do and things like that. So I'm just going to share with y'all the video, just a little intro video that we had for that. So let me pull that up real quick and y'all can see that. Because like I said, we just going down Sankofa Sunday a bit, memory lane a little bit. As soon as I pull it up, I will be able to play that. So I guess that's the secret though, y'all. Alkaline water. So Kevin uses pH 9.5 water in his laundry. No bleach, no detergent, no nothing. Just alkaline water. Yep. Turn it inside out. Hang dry. Anyway, so here's the intro. So y'all tell me if you all are familiar with this. Tell me if y'all remember this. Okay, so listen, all of this is old, y'all. This is old stuff. Old stuff. But I'm gonna check this out. Check this one out.
Five, four, three, two, one.
All right. So how many of y'all remember that? We did that like in 2016-ish, 17-ish, or whatever. Here we are 5 years later. 5 years later, the African Scholastic Homeland Security Agency. And y'all see the symbols and all that other kind of stuff. See? So none of this stuff is new. A lot of these arguments, like, because some people who are new to this channel, who be hearing me, been tuning in for a little while, but they're fairly recent. They don't understand the history and like the frustration. So some people will hear me say things and be critical about things and really not know where it comes from. They think that I'm new. Some people think that I'm new. Some people think that I'm either new or that I behave in the same way that they may see others behave and stuff. No, I'm not that way. And so this is not new. This is old stuff. These arguments that I'm hearing, they're repeated, they're old, and a lot of them have already been dealt with. Whether Egyptians were black, whether Egypt is gay, whether Egypt is Mediterranean, whether they're sub-Saharan Africans or super-Saharan Africans, whether the Nubians are the Egyptians or whether the Nubians and Egyptians are the same people. All of these different things, whether Afro-Asiatic is a real genetic language, family of languages and this stuff, we've talked about this in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, 2000 teens, I should say, I'm sorry. Like 2014, 15, 16. So all of these arguments to me are already like 5 years old, 5 years and older. 4 years being the most recent. So y'all have to understand and put yourself in my shoes. These things are old, and we've dealt with them, and they resurface over and over and over again. And what happens is people pretend that they weren't talked about. People pretend that we didn't already address certain things. People pretend that they're schooling me or schooling us. When I say us, I'm talking about me and whoever else is involved with different issues. Like, for example, on the question of the toponym Kemet meaning the land of black people, as if the Egyptians were inspired by their skin color to name their country and stuff like that. That's old. People act like that's new or like they're schooling us. People will pull up resources, cite sources, or use different tools as if they're showing us something, as if we don't already use them, as if we weren't even the ones to introduce a lot of people to them. Like a lot of people, there's a recent wave of, well, not too many people, but people talk about the TLA and the French site, the Rosette, and stuff like that, or Mark Vigus dictionary stuff. I mean, come on, I've been having I have the very first Mark Vigus. Matter of fact, I spoke to Mark Vigus. I'm sorry, I don't want to mislead. Like I got his number on speed dial, so let me correct that. I contacted Mark Vigus a long time ago. I got his first dictionary. Matter of fact, he sent me and he doesn't do this anymore. Like actually, he it almost like he didn't even want to send it to me because in his updated one, I asked him for the same thing I asked him on the first time, and he didn't. He said he don't do that anymore. But his very first publication, digital publication of his dictionary, he sent me the source code for it on how he produced it. I still have it. I know that I got the software he used and the source code he used to produce the output that became his dictionary, his very first one. And then all the updates he made, I have them all. And he don't give the source code out like that no more. And he also gave me the glyphs for his dictionary, to where I made my own, and I could show you all that stuff. So I'm only saying this to say that a lot of this stuff is old. A lot of stuff, either me, like Asar introduced a lot to a lot of people. Asar introduced different tools, different resources, because see, what people don't know is that prior to a lot of this, me, Asar, and Sanjeti, we were a part of a group called the ACRU, which stood for Ancient Kemetic Research Unit, AKRU, the ACRU. It was called the Ancient Kemetic Research Unit. And it was me, Asar, Sanjeti. It was another brother named Montu. It was a couple of sisters in the group. It was some elders. The elder brother Raymond Davis was in the group. It was some scholars that were in the group, some actual Egyptologists and everything in the group. And we had a Facebook group. We had a forum in the Facebook group. And we used to communicate and transliterate and translate text. Matter of fact, we collectively transliterated and translated the book of Knowing the Transformations of Ra and Overthrowing of Apep. And we were exploring, simultaneously, the meaning of the name Osiris, Wasir, to find out, did the Egyptians define his name? And, we took hints and clues from different texts and stuff like that to try to ascertain the meaning of his name. Because when you look in a dictionary and see Wasir, all you see is Wasir is Osiris. Wasir, Osiris. Wasir, Osiris. Nobody will tell you really what it means. They speculate that it means the power of the throne. The was, the word wes meaning was, which means power, and then ear, or from which the or they say as ear. Some people say west ear, some people say as ear. So as is the same thing as in Aset. And it's weird because the word set is throne. Set. That's the throne glyph, set. And so it's kind of weird, because if Aset is the throne, then Osiris will be the eye on the throne, or from the it's from the throne that things are done, because the word ear is the verb, which means to do. So this is the speculation that scholars have kind of tossed around over the years of the meaning of the name Osir. So we were exploring that, checking out what scholars were saying and doing the work. So anyway, I'm just saying that we were part of a group called the ACRU. That group, I guess people's time and lifestyles kind of got in the way. The group kind of slowed down to a speed bump and then to a halt. But myself, Asar, and Sanjeti, Asar Motep and Sanjeti, we obviously we maintain, you know, communication and contact and stuff, and so we still do our thing to this very day. See, so people don't know that part of it, and the fact that all three of us were part of the Amara squad as well. So there's a lot of history. There's a lot of things going on there. You know, all of us know pretty much the same set of scholars, or we have like a network. Both Sanjeti and I have formal training from Dr. Vakete Amin. I think I was dealing with her before Brother Sanjeti, because I was dealing with Dr. Vakete Amin before she even held classes in the way that she does now, before the publication of her books and everything. And Dr. Vakete Amin, by the way, y'all saw her in that video. She is Medew Netcher in our eyes. She's the mother of Medew Netcher. She is from her that a lot of people descend and were students of. You know, so she produces teachers. You know, she produces Dr. Vakete Amin produces teachers. That's what she does, and she should be well respected for that. You know, anybody that use her name and toss her name around, stuff like that, that's really, really, really very disrespectful. But anyway, so that's that. But let me see. Let me, you know, I'm interacting. I'm doing all this talking and sharing and stuff. I'm trying to see what you all on. Now we got 32 people watching. How many thumbs? We got 28. Okay, that's close. We should have 32 thumbs up. Again, find something on the screen you like. Even if you don't like me or what I'm saying, y'all see Emicat up there. That's what let me leave Emicat's picture up there. Yep. Let me leave Emicat's picture up there. Emicat looks better than me. All right, so I'm gonna leave her picture up there, and thumb up the video. All right, so let me see what questions do we have on the screen. So let's see. Sumo. Who is more armed in these topics? Someone who studied Egyptology or someone who can read the script? Are all Egyptologists trained to read the script? How is not being able to read it a handicap? Okay, those are good questions, Sumo. So let me just take my stab at it real quick. Okay, so let's start from something very basic. So we all know, and it's not argued or debated, that the ancient Egyptian culture is dead. Okay, when people take a trip over to Egypt, the Arab Republic of Egypt today, they're looking at ruins, and they're looking at a completely different scene. You know, even the flow of the Nile is not even the same, even though the Nile River still exists, of course, but its natural flow and everything is not the same as it once was due to the Aswan Dam. All right, so a lot has changed, okay, in terms of it's predominantly Arabic speech communities, not Arab, but Arabic speaking people there, and it's dominated by the belief system of Islam, okay, pretty much. So it's a lot different. Now, I say all of that because the Egyptian culture is dead, the Egyptian language is dead. So, in order for us to engage a dead culture and a dead language, we have to go about it through the records that have survived. And ancient Egypt, fortunately, documented everything pretty much. And what has survived, it's available to us in written format. And so we don't have to rely like other cultures on pure material archaeology, on the material culture. We have that, but we also have the benefit of written records. We can actually ascertain the psychology of the ancient Egyptians themselves by way of the records that they left behind. And so, in order to engage the culture, we have to do it by way of its language. So, that's the last part of your question. You said, how is not being able to read it a handicap? You are handicapped in becoming intimate with the culture by not engaging it by way of its language. Why? Because language is the DNA of culture. Okay? Language records the psychology of a people, their worldview. And so, without engaging the language, you won't be able to tap into that. And so, you'll be handicapped. And so, anything you learn about Egypt will be by way of handicap. You'll be limping, you'll be on crutches. It's like trying to run a race on a sprained ankle. You can't do it. You're not going to win. And so it's very important to learn the language. If you, that's if people have that interest. Because I'm not one to tell people you have to do it if you're not even going to interested. I'm saying don't go around trying to debate everybody and everything if you're not about it. And if you're about it, it's going to show because you study the language. If you don't study the language, I could tell you're not about it. And if you're not about it, then you need to don't go around acting like you all that in a bag of chips and try to argue with people and debate and this, that, and the third. Just come and discuss and chime in and learn and share, but don't come with the rah-rah and all that other kind of stuff. See, that's where it gets silly. So that's why. And you ask, who is more armed in these topics? Someone who studied Egyptology or someone who can read the script? Both. Because Egyptology is the study of Egypt. Egyptology as a discipline was started in 18... I don't know why that date just escaped me. 1822, I believe. Somebody keep me honest, because I say it. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. But Egyptology formally starts in the early 1800s, after the decipherment. Okay, in terms of chronology, and from that point forward, it's been a systematic study of ancient Egypt. And so, you can become an autodidact and learn the writing system. You can read the monoliterals. You can read a couple of biliterals. You can read a couple of triliterals to know what they are. So much so that it will help you look in the Mark Vigus dictionary, pull up this dictionary and look. But then, what Egyptology as a discipline offers is a structured, systematic study of and methods of study to deal with Egyptian issues, ancient Egyptian issues. Philology, the text itself, the genre of text, the literary categories, and so much more is what Egyptology offers, and so it's best to be grounded in both. And if you take a course on Egyptology, more than not, you're definitely going to learn the language, at least at a basic level. All right, and I'm friends with students from Brown's University, students of James P. Allen and stuff like that. So I know what they learn. I know the tools that they use and everything. And that's what they do. All right, so hopefully that's that. I saw another question on the screen. I missed it. No, here it is. Brother Donnie, question: the term Afro-Asiatic language, did that come out of the Cairo Symposium meeting, and who coined it, and what exactly does it mean? Thanks. No. Afro-Asiatic is a term that it's one of the major language phyla out of the four for African language. So you have Afro-Asiatic, Nilo-Saharan, Niger-Congo, and Khoisan. And so, no, it didn't come out of the Cairo Symposium, not Afro-Asiatic. As a matter of fact, I guess I could share my screen. Let me just making sure y'all like what y'all saw on the screen there a bit. But let me just pull this up on the screen. If I can share my screen real quick. How fast can I do this? I didn't have anything on my screens to share. So let me pull it up. All right. So if you pull it up, I'll pull it up, because any of y'all can do this, but I'm gonna share the screen so we could see it. Everybody can see this together. So we're gonna share this. All right. So here's the wiki article on Afroasiatic languages, and it is really small. Make it big. All right, there you go. Afroasiatic languages. So I'm just going to read this first paragraph, because this is something that you all can do some follow up on. But to answer your question, let me ask you a question, which I already did, but let me repeat. No, it did not come as a result of the Cairo Symposium, the UNESCO 1974 Cairo Symposium. It did not come out of that, okay? It extends from Joseph Greenberg, okay, in terms of these groupings. But just to read here, the Afro-Asiatic languages, also known as the Hamido-Semitic or Semito-Hamitic, and sometimes also called Afrasian, Ethraean, or Lisaramic, are a language family of about 300 languages that are spoken predominantly in Western Asia, North Africa, and the Horn of Africa, and parts of the Sahara-Sahel. With the exception of its Semitic branch, all other branches of the Afro-Asiatic family are spoken exclusively on the African continent. So the only branch, I should say, of languages, which be Akkadian, Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, and so on, everything else is spoken exclusively on the African continent. And then you can read on. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I just wanted to read that first paragraph. But here are the subdivisions, as you can see over here. So you have Berber, Chadic, Cushitic, Egyptian, Semitic, and Omatic. Those are the subdivisions, all falling under Afroasiatic. All right, so it did not come as a result of Greenberg. All right, so just to answer your question. Now, yeah, although you didn't ask this, Donnie, just to expound a little bit more, the issue that people have with Afroasiatic, or the issue of surrounding Afroasiatic, is when we come on the scene and say that Afroasiatic, or inform people that Afroasiatic is not a genetic family of languages. The method that was used to even come up with this classification and grouping was not done by way of the method to make that determination. So the most simplest way I can put this is in an analogy. Okay, so let's say you have 10 people in a room, and you're trying to determine the relationship of those 10 people, if they're related, biologically related. So I'm using a biological analogy, even though with language there's no biological aspect to languages. But in my analogy, you got 10 people, and you're trying to determine who is related to who, not only if they're related, but what is the proximity of relationship. Is it sibling to sibling? Is it father to child? Is it mother to child, first cousins, or whatever the case is, right? Now, the proper way to make that determination, based on all the tools available to us now, would be to map the genome of all 10 people and look at the relationships through genetics. All right? They do it all the time. Paternity test is done all the time. You are not the father, or child support court cases, or child support defense court cases, or whatever the case is. They use that technology all day, every day. That's the way that you would determine it. So the only way to determine the relationship of those 10 people is to take their genetic mapping and analyze it, and then use that data or the evidence from there to determine the relationships. So now you say, okay, those two they have the same parents. That person is a half brother to that person. That person's a half sister to that person. You can make those determinations, but you do it by way of methods of genome mapping, and its procedures, right? So anyway, so that's that. You can't do it by looking at the clothes that they have on. You can't say because you got a red shirt on and you got a red shirt on and you got tennis shoes and you got tennis shoes that y'all are related. You can't do that. The only thing that's good for is to group them based on the shirt color. So out of the 10 people, everybody that has on a red shirt or red in their shirt, stand to the left. Everybody that has blue in their shirt, stand to the right. You can create those categories, but guess what? It's the red shirt category and the blue shirt category, but they're not based on genetic relationship. It's based on shirts, shirt color. So you cannot falsely report that these two shirt groupings are genetic groupings. Do y'all get that? That's as basic as it can ever get. Let me put that portion of the example in even a better example. A basketball team. The LA Lakers versus Golden State Warriors. Everybody on the Golden State Warrior team has the same jersey, same outfit on. Everybody on the Lakers have the same outfit on. But nobody in their right mind would ever tell you that all the Golden State Warrior members are related. Just like nobody would ever tell you all the Laker team members are related. But they're on the same team and they wear the same uniform. So they're categorized and separated based on being a member of the team and wearing the same uniform, but not through genetics. So likewise, that's what happened with these language groupings. They're grouped, but they're not grouped based on the linguistic genetic method, which is the historical comparative method. It was not done by that method. And so Afro-Asiatic, Niger-Congo, Khoisan, and Nilo-Saharan are not genetic language families. They are language categories or language phyla, superphyla, that are based on topological or mass comparison methods. And that's it. That is what we've been saying for years. But because people don't read and people don't even attempt to even go into the basics of linguistics in that sense, they don't understand, they pretend they don't understand, and they just keep arguing back and forth, or they trying to say that, we're saying, like, people even pretend we got a problem with the name. Like, it doesn't matter what the name is. Afro-Asia, I don't care if they call it Hoobla Blooba or Hubba Bubba. Booga Booga, Hubba Bubba, none of that stuff matters. Afro-Asiatic, I don't care about the name. These are, and it's crazy because people are petty because the real deal is they have a problem with if somebody say Negro Egyptian. See, other people get hung up on the names, but they project it on us. Like, I don't care what his name. Anyway, so that's the real deal, y'all. So y'all understand. Hopefully y'all understand that. That's the issue. That's all. It's simple. Do y'all understand that? Type one if you understand. I'm gonna take this off the screen. Type one if you understand that. That's a simple way, and I use the same example all the time. But I use green shirt. I actually, I can pull out some slides. I have visuals for everything I just said. I have visuals. I got, children in green shirts, children in red shirts to show you the separation, but how none of them are really related genetically and this and that. I could do all that, but I've done that many, many times. I've done that many, many, many times. All right. So what else? What else we got going on? What else we got going on? So again, peace to everybody. What time is it? What time? Okay, we got 8 more minutes, y'all. 8 more minutes. 8 more minutes. Let's see. He said predates Greenberg. Okay, that's right. If your comment is to say that Afroasiatic predates Greenberg, no, the categories, the modern iteration of it is a result of Greenberg. Okay, so the modern use and understanding of Afroasiatic as a grouping and stuff is through Greenberg. All right. Now I can take time to share my and show all this stuff. This is like kind of basic stuff, but understand what you're saying, because Greenberg came on the scene with something that was already um, advocated and things like that. So yeah. Okay, so Sumo get it, Lisa get it, Emicat get it. Who else? Press one if you got what I said. It's very basic. You don't have to be a linguist to understand what I said or anything. You don't have to know a thing about it. It should be just that plain and simple. Because everybody understands relationships. Everybody has parents and children or siblings. Just because you wear the same shirt as somebody don't mean you're related to them. Just because I see topological features of two languages don't mean that they're genetically related. And then people got to understand that linguistics borrows technical terminology from biology. So when we say genetic, when we're in a linguistic setting and conversation, and we say things like genetic, we don't mean deoxyribonucleic acid. We don't mean DNA and RNA or literal genes and chromosomes and stuff like that. They're used figuratively as an analogy, analogous to the morphemes and stuff in language. So the equivalent of genes in biology, but when it comes to linguistic, would be the actual morphemic analysis of words, the smallest units of meaning in words, and things like that, and how words are put together and structured. Okay, you got the form, and then you got the meaning, and then you got the link between the two. Those are called signs. And so that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about literal genes. So don't anybody think about, looking at a word and then looking for some chromosomes and stuff and sending a word to 23andMe to get it analyzed. You're gonna spit some words into a test tube. Oh boy, you're gonna spend $99 and spit some words into a test tube. Or you're gonna type some words in a piece of paper and roll it up and put it in a test tube and send it to 23andMe. Be like, yeah, y'all analyze that. Because what Giles said, you can determine the genetic relationship. So I'm gonna write this Semitic word down. I'm gonna write this Egyptian word down. I want to see what 23andMe say about it. Oh boy, y'all look crazy. Y'all look crazy. You see that? Okay, what else? What else we got going on? So Donnie has a follow-up. So does Nubian fall in the same class? I'm not sure your question. Oh, you mean the Nubian language? Nubian is um into a different location. So we have, remember, I named them. You have Niger Congo, Afro-Asiatic, Nilo-Saharan, and Khoisan. The Nubian languages, I should be saying with an S, fall under the Nilo-Saharan grouping based on the Greenberg model. Okay, according to the Greenberg model, the Nubian languages fall under Nilo-Saharan. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question, Donnie. Falls under Nilo-Saharan. What else is going on? Let's see. Desharab says they're genetically related. Well, if not, then which languages aren't? No, no, no. Donnie, I mean, excuse me, not Donnie. Sorry about that. Desharab, I hope you were getting what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when we use the terminology genetic in a linguistic conversation, we're not talking about literal genes and amino acids and chromosomes and like I said, DNA and RNA and all of that kind of stuff. We're not talking anything biological. We only use these biological technical terms in a metaphoric way or a figurative way. Even the word morpheme, morph, is a biological term. How organisms change. That's morphology. That's morphing. I'm sure you all used to watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right? How they morph. They morph into these things, right? So they're not so that's what I meant by not genetically related in that sense. Now, the only way you can determine if languages are related is through the historical comparative method. And Greenberg did not use that method to come up with his model. It's just that simple. This is in all of the books. This is, go to Wikipedia. This is in everywhere. It's widely known by anybody who is remotely interested in linguistics. They know this. The problem people are having is because Greenberg's model is repeated so much that people think it's something that it's not. The model is perfectly fine if you call it what it is. Just people need to stop calling it a genetic model, a linguistic genetic model. It's not. That's all. That's all. That, as long as people have that understanding, then we're good. The conversation can be nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Yep. What else we got? Is that it? Is that it? So let me just give y'all a little bit of insights, since we're talking about language and that aspect, right? Let me give you a little bit. Now we could have a full blown conversation about this on another time, and if y'all want to, let me know, okay? But let's talk about dictionaries for a minute, for a brief minute. In the chat, I want somebody in the chat to tell me what is the most extensive Egyptian dictionary that we have available to us today. Give me the name of the most extensive dictionary that we have for the ancient Egyptian language, not the modern Arabic Egyptian. But the ancient Egyptian language, what is the most extensive dictionary that we have? What is the most profound dictionary that we have today? So I want somebody in the chat to let me know that. All right, I see. Donnie says Gardner. Desharab says water book. He said water book. Zane said Wallace Budge. All right, so we got a good variety right here. So Desharab says, let me put this on the screen. Matter of fact, I just put the chat back on the screen. Desharab says water book. Donnie says the Gardner. Zane says the Wallace Budge. Lisa says the handwritten one. And Kevin says the same as Desharab, but I think he spells it better. Okay, so that's a good variety of answers we got. So the correct answer is the Wörterbuch. That's how we supposed to be pronouncing it. The German W is a V. Okay, just so y'all will know, and I gotta catch myself because I don't speak German, and and people will hear me say Wörterbach, the Wörterbach, and we gotta stop doing that. It's pronounced Wörterbuch, okay, Wörterbuch, Buch, and it's not even a K, it's Buch, Wörterbuch. Okay, that's the word for it. The whole dictionary name is Wörterbuch der Ägyptischen Sprache. Wörterbuch der Ägyptischen Sprache. And it means the dictionary of the Egyptian language. Wörterbuch der Ägyptischen Sprache. Or Sprache. All right, so that's a better pronunciation. Shout out to my German friends who corrected me on that. All right, so we need to start pronouncing it correctly and respect the pronunciations on that. So one more time, it's Wörterbuch der Ägyptischen Sprache. All right. And I'm not perfect with it, but that's closer. So that's it. So Lisa said that's the handwritten one. But now there's two famous handwritten ones. So Lisa, so you kind of cheated because Faulkner is handwritten, and then the Wörterbuch is handwritten as well. But just briefly, the reason why I bring this up to y'all is I want you all to understand the amount of work that it takes to actually produce a dictionary, especially of a foreign language, of a dead language at that. Okay, so just think about this, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Think about this, and I want y'all to do research on the Wörterbuch. And I gotta get very used to saying it that way, y'all. Y'all practice that with me, Wörterbuch. And that's what we call it for short. But the Wörterbuch, do some research on it. Do some research. Do the due diligence on it, so you'll know all about it and stuff like that. But it was a to produce that dictionary, it was a huge undertaking, and it took many years and a lot of money and support and finances to do it, and it's all handwritten. Now I'm just gonna give you the short and skinny about it, but I want y'all to look it up, and we could have a longer conversation about it because I think it's worth talking about all these dictionaries and how they come about. Because I want to make a quick point with y'all, leave y'all with a point that I want to make. The Wörterbuch was done over, I believe, a 40-year period of time. And it took 2 years alone just to get it in print, because it was handwritten. And what they did was they had to catalog all of the primary texts and sources. So they copied and hand wrote those first. And there's a long list. And I have the handwritten versions. So when we talk about, for example, let's see, let me pull up an example. Um, let me see, what can I pull up? Let me see. Uh, hmm, what's a good example? Let me see if I can do this quickly here. No, that's not a good example. Hmm, is this a good example? Nope. All right, so it'll take me too long to try to pull it up. So I apologize because I don't want to make it seem like I'm teasing y'all. But there's a lot of, anyway. I guess the point I'm trying to make that there was a whole lot of work done. And remember, the Wörterbuch came out of the German school of Egyptology through Carl Lepsius, um, uh, Ehrman, and then you have Grappa and that school of thought. So that's outside of the French through Champollion and his colleagues, and even the English through Thomas Young and all of his colleagues. Okay, so the German school of Egyptology is known for their tedious and well involved um, projects, from Ehrman, Junkner to Seth to everybody. These names that you may hear people mention. It comes out of that, and they hand wrote and transcribed a lot of the text that we talk about. A lot of the different texts we talk about. You can name them, and sure enough, like everything, the pyramid text, the coffin text of certain coffins, and this, that, and the third, everything. They compiled all that kind of stuff, these primary sources. Then they had to create handwritten slips for the dictionary entries, and one entry may take up several pages. They had to organize these things and then print them. So if anything got out of order, or if they found something new, they had to rearrange the slips. That's how they were able to prevent them from rewriting the whole dictionary every time something has to get inserted and injected in there. Because if you think about it, if you have everything in alphabetical order or in some kind of orderly arrangement, and then you got to insert three things, but it happened you had to insert it in the middle, then what you gonna do? You got to rewrite everything after that entry point, from the entry point, and then after, to move everything over on the page, unless you're going to write it real small in the margins and stuff like that. So anyway, I guess the point I'm making is, and I'm gonna have a full conversation because I'm bringing this up when I'm going to close out. But the main point I want to make is that the Wörterbuch is the most profound dictionary that we have. The most work was put into that dictionary. All right. And even that was ongoing. It was finished, I believe, in 1926. See, I used to have this stuff memorized. And I'm only going off the top of my head right now, so forgive me. Forgive me. I'm about to tell you all right now. When it was finished. Yeah, 1926. 1926. Okay. In 5 main volumes. Okay. It was started in 1897. So think about it. From 1897 to 1926. I said 40 years, so y'all gotta keep me honest. So from 1987 to 1926. So it's not quite 40 years. That would be 1930. That'd be in the 1930s. But it was published in 1926 in 5 volumes. Financed by the Rockefeller, by the way. By John Rockefeller. Okay. So just want y'all to understand. But it was supported and the whole nine. and then it was some things were added to it, and then it came out, later. So I guess that's why I said 40 years, because I know 40 years is sticking in my mind for some reason. But we'll tease all the details out in a future conversation. But the point that I want to make, though, here's the point, is that Ru- Faulkner's dictionary, Raymond Faulkner's Concise Dictionary of Middle Egyptian. That is a popular dictionary. It's handwritten, and it's very popular among college students of Egyptology and so on and so forth, right? You have Budge's dictionary, and don't sleep on Budge's work. Like people want to. I mean, we had these conversations many times over the years about Budge and why Budge is like people try to sun Budge, but you got Budge's dictionary, you got Faulkner's dictionary, you have what else is popular? You have Mark Vigus that people mention. Now think about it. Mark Vigus dictionary. Mark Vigus did not write a dictionary. He's responsible for digitizing and consolidating existing dictionary entries. He didn't do any work outside of that tedious part of the work, which is to collect and digitize an existing dictionary. But remember what a dictionary is. If you look at an English dictionary, the average English dictionary, Merriam-Webster, Oxford, or whatever the case is, you have dictionary entries, and then you have the sense of the word, of the different words, the different senses of the words, and they number them. Sense 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And it explains the words. So it gives you a definition, gives you the full, context and everything like that, right? But when you look in these Egyptian dictionaries, all you're really seeing is word substitutions. So you look up a word, and then it'll show another word next to it in your language. So from Egyptian to English, you'll see a word, and I'm just throwing this out there. You'll see the Egyptian word Hotep. Next to it, you'll see peace. You see the Egyptian word Sesh. Next to it, you'll see scribe. So although we're calling these things dictionaries, they're really, a list of a lexical list, just giving you synonyms, giving you these proposed synonyms, word substitutions. Okay, that's one aspect people got to keep in mind. Two, these dictionaries were not developed from scratch. Raymond Faulkner did not scour the primary sources to ascertain the meanings of all the words in the dictionary that he is responsible for. When you open up Raymond Faulkner's dictionary, trust me when I tell you that his dictionary is not a result of him scouring and analyzing all the primary sources that are known from ancient Egypt to analyze the words in the proper context and to do comparative linguistics to verify meaning. None of that stuff was done. Okay? And the point I'm making is that if people understand that, then when you name several if you look for a word and you find it in several dictionaries, that should not be like a eureka moment, because in fact Mark Vigus dictionary just swallowed Faulkner's. So if you find it in Faulkner, of course you're gonna find it in Vigus. If one is built off the other, and neither one of them did the original work, did the primary type of original work. So back to the Wörterbuch, the German school to produce that, they're the best candidate for original work because they actually took the years, the funding, and the time to actually examine primary work, primary sources. and things of that nature. So in my classes, what I have always recommended students, I tell them straight up and down, at a beginner's level, the easiest dictionary to use is Mark Vigus because it's digitized, it's free, and you can search. Pull up Adobe Reader, or if you're on an Apple computer, pull up Preview, and you're good to go. But I always tell people, get all of the dictionaries. I have them all. I got the French, the German, the Italian, the Dutch, the English ones, handwritten, typed, the digitized of the handwritten ones. Faulkner now, even Faulkner has a mirrored digitized version now. I have that one too. And so when I put them side by side and compare them, you can just see which ones have borrowed from others. Then you have large vocabulary lists done by people. So for example, James Hodge, in his Middle Egyptian grammar, he has a large vocabulary list. James P. Allen, large vocabulary list. Sir Alan Gardner, large vocabulary list in his book. That people don't call them dictionaries, but he has a vocabulary list. Where are they getting it from? Where are they getting it from? Did James P. Allen, did James Hodge, did who else did I mention? Sir Alan Gardner, did they go to the primaries and develop their vocabulary list from the primaries? Now, to Budge's credit, Budge has specific vocabularies for specific texts. Like he has a dictionary / vocabulary strictly for the Book of the Dead. And we could talk about Budge, in the future too, because I want to revisit that conversation we had like years ago about how and when Budge started getting a bad rap. And just so y'all know, it's mainly because he supported the Africanness of Egyptian culture and language, whereas his colleagues, everybody else around him, was pushing this dynastic race theory and how the Egyptian culture and its people came from outside of Africa. The kingship, the culture, and everything good about Egypt came from this dynastic race who came from somewhere else. And Budge was saying the opposite, and so he lost favor with his scholarly colleagues and things like that ever since. But we could revisit that conversation. But anyway, I wanted to put y'all onto that since we mentioned those things. But just remember that Deshrab says Budge is the dirty glass. so Deshrab, you even said that Budge is the dirty glass when it comes to that. But you know what the thing is? I don't think anybody else is touching Budge in terms of the quantity of work Budge has done. He has a beginner's language. He has 2-volume dictionary. He's done Coptic manuscripts. He's done tons of books about the different aspects of quote-unquote Egyptian religion. He has tons of books out there. And he was the curator at the museum. And Budge was a slick businessman. He was smuggling in. But listen, if y'all really research Budge was a gangster. Budge was set up to be a gangster when it comes to museum artifacts. Budge was literally sent to the Middle East and Egypt to obtain different collections for low prices on the local markets and bypass customs, bypass everything. Wheeling and dealing. So y'all, people sleeping on that. Now, obviously, we can go case by case and talk about his scholarship, the accuracy of it. But people try to sun various different people just to jump on the bandwagon, and we gotta cut that out. So anyway, but it's my time, y'all. MK, you got anything?
Nah, not really. I'd just like to thank everybody that showed up, and yeah, so make sure that you have hit that notification bell, because you know how we are. Show up anytime, and it will be good stuff going forward. So I mean, we do have good stuff all the time, but yeah, you definitely don't want to miss when we go live. So just hit that and dua for being part of all this. That's it. Oh, and yes, let me give a shout out to we have Wycliffe Waweru, and I think I definitely know that he is actually watching from 254, that's Kenya. So definitely thank you for taking the time to come and bless us with your presence on our Sesh YouTube page, and share with other people. We do get a lot of people everywhere, especially also from Kenya, and I'm proud that there's a lot of Kenyan people that actually watch, and we have Kenyan people who've taken the class. I know Ujao didn't mention this, but he did talk about how he teaches and he's been teaching for 10 years. What he forgot to tell y'all is that he actually teaches Sesh Netcher to students all around the world, like all around the continent. We have students from Kenya, Denmark, Uganda, Tanzania, other parts of Africa, South Africa. We have from the UK. We have them everywhere. So that's one thing he forgot to say, that he's definitely reached a lot of people with his teaching all across the globe. Yes, and happy birthday to Sen MC Chill, Kevin MC Chill Hard. One more time.
All right. So listen, I want to play one more video for y'all. I forgot about this one, and tell me if y'all remember this. Let me pull it up. I got one more video for you all to watch, and tell me if you remember this. So let me while it's loading, let me just give you the context to it. This is in the time frame of the whole rebuttal to Walter Williams, but it's also the build up to the Sarah Suit Seti and Young Pharaoh fussing match that was trying to be built up to be a debate, but it really, wouldn't have been a debate. It definitely been a teaching moment. But anyway, I just want y'all to see this. I can't find the other ones. There's a couple of videos, but I think this one I'll just close out with this video. So tell me if y'all remember this. All right, check this one out.
Ain't none of the Army Rock Squad ever been to Egypt. Ain't none of the Army Rock Squad ever been to Egypt. Oh shit! 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 Ain't none of the Army Rock Squad ever been to Egypt. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Do y'all remember that? Oh my goodness. Sarah Soon Seti made a claim that was just so easy to refute. He said nobody from the Amara squad ever been to Egypt. Why did he say that? Like seriously, why would he do that? That's crazy to me. That's real crazy to me. So y'all remember that? Y'all might not remember that. But anyway, so that was, and it's a couple of other ones that we had, but I'll go ahead and save them for another time. I'll play these again because these are throwbacks. Hold up, I might have found it. Oh, wait a minute. I may have found it. Oh, I think I stumbled across one of them. I may have found it. Give me a second here. Let me put it up. Pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up. None of the Amira squad ever been to Egypt. Y'all see how I slow down? None of the Amira squad ever been to Egypt. All right, here you go. Here's another one, y'all. Here's another one. Check this one out.
So this is Greek. See this? Nah, look. Ain't no P in Greek. See that? See how they fucked this up right there? See, this is Latin. See this Latin? They say this is Ptolemy. But this is actually Ptolemy's name in Greek. That's why it's Ptolemy. The P is silent because ain't no P. See? So you got T. So when you got the L here, you got this letter. It's not an A. I guess it's an alpha. You got E. So look at that. From the Greek, you got this letter and the E. Now you come down to Latin, you just got an L. So you got to cut from the Greek to the Latin. Okay? Now look at it. You got the L, but you got A, I, O, and you got this funny looking letter. And then you come down here, you got two E's and an S. How did y'all get this? This is Latin. Ain't no fucking Latin on the stone. They never show you the Greek because it looks so goddamn impossible.
Yo, if that wasn't funny, I don't know if y'all get it, man. But good gracious. He said the P is silent. Ain't no P. Boy, I tell you, man, it is crazy. Whew, man, that was funny right there. I don't know if y'all got that one though. Oh man, that was funny right there. That was real funny. Hold up, let me see if I can find another one. That one was funny. It was another one. Hold up. It's another one. There's another one. Wait a minute. There's another one. Okay, no, that's not it. Hold up. And Mika, if you got some words, let me see if I can find one. If not, then we just gonna cut it here.
Oh man, nah, that was crazy. This is why we had to write the book because um there was so much going on that was just so wrong. Like where when you figure out, okay, the debate has to, it was pretty much called a teaching moment because there wasn't it was very clear from the get-go that you can't debate people who just do not know even the simplest things, like questions like how do you put symbols to sounds, and then somebody look how Seti was struggling with just that simple thing. So it was a point where you just have to sit down and it's like, what do you need to do? First, you just need to write a book and just explain to people just how how you actually put symbols. You use symbols to represent sounds, just how the script works, like even the Latin script. Then you can actually slow walk people, spoon feed them slowly. Actually, like you have to breastfeed people and then you wean them off the breast milk and whatever, and then put them, like it was a whole process, So that's definitely why we wrote the book. And if you haven't gotten the book, because we saw a lot of people who didn't get the book yet. So if you hadn't got the book, that book is really, really good. It's actually like, we just call it like a pre-basic. So when you're learning any language, or learning a script, which is actually you're doing both with Sesh and Netcher, there's some basic things that you need to know about writing systems and things of that nature that probably sometimes is not done in the beginner's lesson, because it's assumed that these are things that people know. But if you don't, then the decipherment book that I put the link on the chat for is actually a pretty good one. And basically, because of silly stuff like this coming from Seti and Young Pharaoh, is why we had to document a lot and had the part one where we just have to go through the pre-basics of how writing systems function before we get to the decipherment. But that was funny because that's a whole mess right there. But yeah, so get the book. When you get a chance, get the book. And if you get the book, you can either buy it from Amazon or you can buy it from Sabre University as one of the costs. So it costs the same price. The only difference is if you buy it from Sabre University, you pay the same amount, but you actually get an extra course that will actually help you to see. It's a free course basically, so you get to test your skills and your understanding on everything that you talk about when you talk about writing systems and decipherment and whatnot. And like I've said, I'm working through the editing of all the stuff, but we actually I'm revamping the whole course in there. You can still take it right now, but I'm revamping it where it will include videos for each and every lesson, so it will be different. So each and every lesson where you go through language per se, writing system on its own, writing system classifications on their own, so you get to really understand each part well, and then translations, transliterations, transcriptions, and then decipherment. So when you're done, you really get to understand. So that will actually should be done before the end of the month, but I'm hoping next week, or definitely before the end of the month. So if you want to get the book, you can get it on Amazon or get it through the Sabre University, either way. And if you get it through the Sabre University, you get the extra goodies with it.
All right, so I thought I had another video I could share with y'all, to end the night, but I think we end on that one. It's 3 in the morning here on the East Coast. So with that, listen, I appreciate everybody hanging out. I know it's we call it Sanko for Sunday now and everything. So just wanted to kind of touch base with everybody. Hope everybody's staying safe, having a good time for the Labor Day weekend. However you do it, cook out, don't eat too much. Spend time with your loved ones, your family, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all again. Again, if you have any suggestions for topics and stuff, where we can actually dive in deep and tease some things out and explain some things, having teaching moments, just let me know. But like I always say, just keep this in mind. Now, everyone knows how critical I am with the shenanigans and things that go on what I call the circus community. So what's been a big challenge for me all of this time is to really pull out teaching moments and in among all the drama and all the mess without becoming part of the drama and the mess. And so there's like a sweet spot that I try to flirt with without being caught up in all that kind of stuff, because I get people that try to get me involved and ask me questions or want me to go on this channel and that channel to hop into the thick of all that mess. And I gotta remind people that that's not how I'm built. That's it's different. I'd rather deal with people's teachers. I'd rather do things scholarly. I'd rather do things in writing and way more thorough, not some 100-mile-an-hour conversation where everybody's talking over each other and diverting and violating logical fallacies left and right, moving the goalposts, and trying to out-talk and out-shout everybody. That's just not cool. All right, not my cup of tea. But also, again, happy birthday to Kevin MC Chill, and hope everybody be safe, and I'll see y'all next time out there. Matter of fact, what was the video I could play again? Now I'll just end it on the normal video. All right, so we'll see y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Oh, and when I play this, I want y'all to pay attention to these pictures that are shared. All these people that have a copy of one of the books that we've been talking about. All right, you're gonna see a lot of these different people holding and having copies of these books. So just pay attention to that. But I'll see y'all next time.